Before we start this video, here are a few disclaimers. If you are uncomfortable with any of these topics, please click off the video. Hey, it's Raiden. I know this may come off as sudden to you all, but there have been some recent allegations regarding a former friend of mine that I knew I shouldn't keep my mouth shut on, especially because they have a larger audience of about 20,000 subscribers. This former friend of mine, whom I will be talking about today, is Terrence, aka Eugene. For a brief summarization of the claims, the perpetrator, Terrence, has committed acts of grooming and improper conduct related to his mental health. This video will show my point of view on the matter.
Hello, I will also be speaking at some points of the video, mostly because Raiden is quite tired at the moment. But other than that, let's move on with the allegations. To make this quick, Terrence has been engaging in a sexually charged relationship with a minor. They have been contacting one another ever since the victim, who shall not be named for their safety, was 15 and Terrence was 19. That is a 4-year age gap, with someone who is below the age of consent in the Philippines. And for your information, Terrence is Filipino, and the age of consent in the Philippines is 16. The victim did mention that Terrence was 18 when they first started dating. However, Terrence turned 19 not even a month later in their relationship. This means more than half of the first year of their relationship had Terrence been 19 long before the victim turned 16. Both parties engaged in sexual roleplay as well as creating sexually charged artworks. However, the victim does not want to reveal the screenshots of the roleplays. Although the characters involved were never of the two, and there were no nudes exchanged, that is still sexual behavior exposed to a minor. The artworks that both parties created that are sexually charged never depicted themselves but their OCs. Yet, this behavior is still problematic since, as I said, this is still sexually charged behavior in front of a minor. Although Terrence had claimed that he and the victim had allegedly broken up, we cannot say for sure whether it was true or not, as Terrence is known to lie quite often at the time. A couple of these lies included him claiming that his partner was 16 while he was 19 last April of this year, when in reality his partner had just recently turned 16 last August. Here is an artwork they made for their birthday, and if you look at the date this was posted, it clearly said August. With that in mind, this would imply that the victim was 15 last April and not 16 as Terrence claimed them to be. Terrence is also currently denying that he has groomed the victim, currently making up excuses for his actions by claiming that they have never engaged in any suggestive activities and that he was only trying to make them happy because they were depressed when they first met. There were even instances where Terrence had deployed a tactic of emotional manipulation of guilt tripping the victim for their relationship.
Speaking of relationships, a former friend of Terrence had spoken to him about this and suggested that he end the relationship last April, obviously because it wasn't right. That was April. And remember, Terrence and the victim have been dating for most likely more than 7 months now, as seen on this post. This means that they either broke up and got back together, or they never actually broke up in the first place and continued dating after he was warned by his former friend. The friend also showed a conversation between them and Terrence, where Terrence claimed to be Cupio romantic. For your information, a Cupio romantic person does not feel any romantic attraction, yet still desires to be in a romantic relationship. Terrence also claimed to be asexual, while they claimed that their partner was hypersexual. However, I accidentally deleted the server where that conversation took place, so I was not able to take any screenshots, unfortunately. But in my point of view, this entire thing just felt quite odd to me, especially because they both engaged in suggestive activities together. Even if the victim was hypersexual, as an adult, Terrence should have stopped them instead of engaging in such activities with them. It is simply not an excuse to act this way with a minor just because you want them to feel happy. Adding to this, the victim had also claimed that they were not friends on any of Terrence's main accounts and that in their bio, they labeled themselves as single. That is because, according to them, Terrence had been keeping them hidden from the public eye to protect him. Unless it is on Instagram. Speaking of Instagram, Terrence's account on Instagram is private. The reason for this is unknown, but my theory is that Terrence would only let the people he trusts view his account and not random strangers just so people don't find out the questionable things he posts about their relationship. Here is a screenshot of some of his posts that somebody took from his account. You can see that quite a lot of it involved ship art of him and his partner, whether it would be their characters or them themselves.
To explain the improper conduct related to his mental health, it is related to the scars on his original characters in his and his partner's artworks. I do not know if this needs to be said, but you do not show behaviors of self harm to minors. The simplest reason is that children are impressionable and will imitate anything. So if they see a popular creator showing their characters having experienced self harm, they will undoubtedly try. The victim's characters also displayed self harm scars. However, this was claimed to have been before Terrence. Yet, although the victim claimed that Terrence had been against it, he was still exposing this behavior to other people in the community and the victim. I am not well versed in the Gacha community. Raiden is, but there might be some fans and friends who might not believe this information. And I'm sorry that this person you know was in reality a horrible person. But we must stay educated and hold everyone around us accountable.
There could be more evidence that could be released, but that is all I could provide for now. Remember to eat, drink water, rest, and most of all, stay safe on the internet. Farewell for now. Raiden out.